Firefighters are continuing to battle the fire in the mountains above Stellenbosch. Today is a week since the fire started in the Overberg area. Much has been done to bring the fire under control, but the terrain isn't helping. Now, for an update, we're joined by Otto on the line. She's the spokesperson of the Cape Winelands District Municipality. A very good afternoon to you, Joanne, and thank you for your time. How bad is the situation at the moment? Because yesterday we were told that it was about 10,000, 11,000 hectares that had been burned around this time at least. So how bad is the situation now?
Hi, Morena. Thank you very much for the opportunity. So we're in a week into this fire, and at this morning's count after aerial viewing, around 13,600 hectares have been affected. Viewers should just remember that this includes the area that was in the Overberg where the fire originated. Yesterday we had a very, very tough day. It was very hot, and that affected the water bombing simply because the helicopters can't fly for as long as at a time. It affects the length of flight time. And but the incident command team reported that the night was quiet, which was good. That was last night. We did have a major flare-up just before sundown last night in the Jonkershoek Valley, which is an area that is inhabited. However, we were able to, through rapid deployment of resources, we were able to swiftly contain that fire, and it stayed down for the night. And then this morning, we went for a flight over the mountains from Botmaskop through to Jonkershoek, and those fire lines are still burning, but they're burning in an inaccessible area. And the decision was made not to water bomb them simply because there were too many risk factors. The first risk factor being that they are inaccessible. So they have to go very, very high. There was low visibility and dense cloud cover due to the smoke and due to clouds. And for that reason, no immediate action was planned for these fire lines. So what will happen during the course of the day is the fire lines will either burn out naturally as they run out of fuel, in other words, as the vegetation becomes sparser and sparser on the cliffs, or they will run down into felt, which is more accessible for our ground crews. And the felt in the specific area that we are expressing a bit of concern about is very young, so there's not a lot of fuel there allowing the fire to burn. So we have faith that we'd be able to manage that. As soon as the fire is more accessible, ground teams and aerial resources will be deployed as necessary. However, the big area that people are concerned about, Morena, is the more inhabited areas, the areas where the big farms are, and there are a few informal settlements and other communities, and that is in the valley of Jonkershoek. Yes. Where we've been battling quite a fierce fire line. All our energies are focused on those fire lines today. Again, our main goal is to prevent the loss of life, livelihood and property or infrastructure. And again, today we will be fighting all the fire lines. We will continue with management of any flare-ups, monitoring and mopping up operations. And these operations will continue into the night tonight. So our guys work a 24-hour shift, and many of them were replaced with fresh crews this morning.
Joanne, the belief or the hope, at least yesterday, was that the fires would be under control by today. So when exactly do you feel that these fires will be under control? I mean, if residents are going to be hoping for a timeline, at least.
There's no timeline. Unfortunately, it has to do with the weather and a change of direction can cause the fire to move away from an area that has already burned and therefore has no more fuel. And unfortunately, we are expecting in the very late afternoon, almost again just before sundown, we are expecting the wind to pick up. It is our windy season. We are concerned that the wind will shift from a southeaster into a northerly wind, which will change the direction. We are monitoring that very closely. At this stage, we are hoping, if everything goes well and there's no change of direction and no more further fire lines, we are hoping to, at least by tomorrow evening, be able to say that we are contained to a point where we are just mopping up and doing monitoring operations.
Okay. Joanne, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That is Joanne Otto. She is the spokesperson of the Cape Winelands District Municipality, and she's saying that they're hoping that this could be a matter that can be kept under control by tomorrow at least. But that, of course, depends on the weather.